What if I told you the future of warfare may not be controlled by fighter jets or tanks anymore? Instead, the next generation of military power could come from autonomous drones, artificial intelligence, and invisible communication systems operating behind the scenes. And while most investors focus on giant defense companies, a tiny stock is quietly trying to position itself inside this rapidly growing industry. Around the world, governments are pouring billions into military drone technology because drones are becoming faster, smarter, cheaper, and far more effective in modern combat situations. And from surveillance missions to autonomous attacks, drones are now changing how wars are fought. But there is one major problem almost nobody talks about, because what happens if those military drones get hacked, jammed, or digitally intercepted during missions? Since once warfare becomes autonomous, cybersecurity suddenly becomes just as important as weapons themselves. An enemy does not always need to destroy a drone physically anymore, because if they can interrupt communication systems or take control digitally, they can disable entire operations instantly, and that creates a huge opportunity for companies building secure military communication infrastructure. This is where today's mystery company enters the story, because instead of manufacturing giant military vehicles, this company focuses on protecting autonomous drones from cyber threats and signal interference, while its technology is designed to help military systems communicate securely even in hostile combat environments. Before we reveal the company itself, we first need to understand why this market is exploding right now, because over the last few years, modern warfare has changed dramatically, especially after global conflicts highlighted the effectiveness of military drones, while countries everywhere are now racing to modernize their autonomous defense capabilities. The Russia-Ukraine conflict showed the world how relatively cheap drones could destroy billion-dollar military equipment, while nations like the United States, China, Israel, and Turkey accelerated investments into AI-powered battlefield systems, and this created a global arms race centered around autonomous military technology. And as drone usage expands, another hidden industry is growing alongside it, because that industry is military drone cybersecurity. Since every autonomous drone fleet requires secure communication, encrypted networking, and protection against cyber attacks. Think about it this way: because a drone without secure communication systems becomes vulnerable to hacking, jamming, and interception, and in military operations, even a small digital disruption can completely change the outcome of a mission. That is exactly the problem this company is trying to solve, because it develops secure communication systems, cybersecurity software, and networking technology for military drones and autonomous defense platforms, while its products are specifically designed for modern battlefield environments. And now it is finally time to reveal the stock, because the company is called Mobilicom, and it trades on NASDAQ under the ticker symbol NASDAQ. MOB. While Mobilicom focuses on secure drone communications, cybersecurity, and autonomous military networking systems. What makes Mobilicom interesting is that it is not trying to compete directly with giant defense contractors, because instead the company wants to become part of the infrastructure layer powering future autonomous warfare systems, and that positioning could become very important over the next decade. Mobilicom develops technology for military UAVs, robotics platforms, loitering munitions, and autonomous battlefield systems, while its communication products are designed to operate securely in hostile environments where electronic warfare threats are increasing rapidly, and its cybersecurity systems aim to protect autonomous platforms from digital attacks in real time. One of the biggest trends in defense right now is anti-jamming technology, because military forces need systems capable of maintaining communication even when enemies attempt to disrupt signals, and that demand is creating major opportunities for companies operating in this space. Another important part of Mobilicom's business is software, because the company is not only selling hardware, but also building cybersecurity and communication software for autonomous systems, while software-driven defense businesses can potentially scale much faster than hardware alone. This is one reason some investors are starting to pay attention to the stock, because Mobilicom sits directly at the intersection of several high-growth industries, including AI, military technology, cybersecurity, and drone warfare, while stocks connected to multiple major trends often attract strong speculative interest. The company has also been increasing exposure to defense customers and military programs, while recent announcements highlighted expansion into international defense markets and additional customer deployments, because for a microcap company, these developments can sometimes become significant catalysts. Now, obviously, this is still a very risky stock, because Mobilicom remains a small company with relatively low revenue compared to major defense giants, and like many emerging technology companies, profitability is still a challenge. Investors also need to understand the risks of volatility and potential dilution because small growth companies sometimes raise additional capital, which can pressure share prices temporarily while defense contracts can also move slowly and government procurement. Timelines are often unpredictable. So this is definitely not a safe conservative investment because it is a speculative defense technology play connected to the future of autonomous warfare, and speculative stocks always carry higher levels of risk. But the reason some investors still find Mobilicom interesting is because the long-term industry opportunity could become enormous, since if military drone adoption continues expanding globally, then secure communication and cybersecurity systems may become absolutely essential, while every autonomous drone fleet would eventually require protection against cyber threats. Imagine what warfare could look like 10 years from now because AI, coordinated drone fleets, autonomous surveillance systems, and robotic military platforms may operate in real time across battlefields, while that future could require an entirely new layer of secure military infrastructure. And if that happens, companies like Mobilicom could potentially benefit from the massive shift toward autonomous defense technology because they are not building the drones themselves, but instead helping secure the digital systems controlling those drones, and that is the core thesis behind the company. Whether Mobilicom eventually succeeds or not, nobody truly knows yet because small defense technology companies are always high risk, and many struggle to scale successfully, while sometimes tiny companies positioned inside massive future industries end up surprising the market. At the end of the day, Mobilicom remains a speculative microcap stock operating in one of the fastest evolving sectors in the world, because the company is betting heavily on the future of autonomous warfare, secure drone communication, and military cybersecurity, while if those industries continue growing, this small stock could remain on investors' watch lists for years to come.